All right, we got Ernest here. You mentioned Morgan. The line we're seeing him trending on Twitter right now. The line for that fucking free show.
Were
Have
you
you
waiting
seen
in that
it?
line? Is that why you were late to this podcast?
That's what it was. I was trying to get damn tickets. Big Loud wouldn't give me any.
Did you see the pictures?
Dude, yes, I was seeing videos all day, and people were asking me if I had tickets. Like, no, I ain't got tickets. It's insane, though.
I assume you're gonna be there, probably, right? Or no? This podcast won't air.
No, I'll be in attendance. I'm not gonna perform. I don't think. I'm just gonna be chilling in a suite, enjoying it.
Nice. It's so crazy, kind of what the whole Big Loud team is really doing right now. We were kind of talking about this a little bit before we hopped on about like you, Morgan, Hardy, even guys like Larry Fleet, kind of all just rising. Obviously, Morgan astronomical. You and Hardy right there, kind of in tow. Like, what's it kind of been like to kind of work with that kind of family of creators, and especially with you, Morgan and Hardy, kind of just being like really close friends?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly the perfect fire under all of our asses because we're all friends in real life. We want each other to win, but it's this community of, I wouldn't even say it's healthy competition, but it's not competition. It's just like, I guess, a standard that's set at Big Loud for our team and our crew, where it's like, we have an opportunity here to really go out and do this. So we show up and we write the best songs we can, and we go out and do the best we can singing them. And at the end of the day, we're hanging out and playing golf and catching up in the studio whenever we're around. So the camaraderie is leading the charge on all of it.
Yeah, it's always like sports and a weight room, right? Like you're on the same team, but you want to see who can squat the most, who can deadlift, right? Like,
yeah. Did you watch the Netflix thing, the golf Netflix documentary with JT and them?
I didn't get to see that yet. No.
It's just like, yeah, we're friends, but I don't ever want to lose a tournament to him ever. So, but I will say this: coming in second to Morgan on anything is like coming in first.
Like.
Well, can you believe that Tiger Woods have to apologize for giving tampon?
Yeah, I can't. You know what? To answer your question, yes, I can believe that.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's a weird world. Like you're really good on social media. Like you're like a funny guy, but do you kind of like look at the whole thing and go, man, this fucking sucks? Like the way
turn this off.
You say one wrong thing and it's like, here come the fucking the vultures. Or
yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, I look at the whole picture. I also I would prefer to just stay in my, there's no need for me to go out of my way to make any big political statement. And that's just not going to be my branding. I would just rather go out and make music and not get into drama. And Tracy, I was just doing Tracy Lawrence. He asked me to say, like, are you socially conscious? I'm like, yeah, socially conscious enough to know to not get into this.
What is it? Yeah, I was gonna say, what does that even mean? What does that even mean these days, right? Socially conscious is like,
that strikes me as an interesting question coming from Tracy Lawrence.
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you got to know who your audience is when you're answering these questions. Right. But yeah, I'm chilling, bro. I'd rather just make music. My statements are gonna be fashion statements, dog. You kidding?
Look at the drip.
My fucking statements are fashion oriented.
Are you in the next season of Yellowstone?
I was about to say Yellowstone called me one of their cowboys.
I was like, you own a fried chicken,
dude.
Like,
you know
who? Place.
Dude, Ralph Lauren was the original John Dutton. I'm just saying.
Damn, he really was.
Nice.
George Strait was actually the original John Dutton.
Well, speaking of George, Dean Dillon.
Yeah.
How did that, like, I feel like that is that like a little like notching your, like, boom, fuck you everybody, like, I got Dean Dillon on a
you walk in your room with your chest out a little more, dude, when you got a Dean Dillon on the track.
Like, to me, that's the equivalent. Like, if I was a rapper, that'd be like having Dr. Dre on a verse. It's like, right, yeah. That's an OG legend that with nothing but respect from everybody in the industry. And BK had a write session with him and was like, yo, you want to come write with me and Dean Dillon? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So that song came out of that day, and I listened to that voice note of Dean singing. It was a Dean work tape just on the cell phone. And I bet I listened to that 300 times. And so when it came time to cut it, I'd already, I just wanted, you can hear, if you listen to Dean records and then you hear George Strait sing the same song, or
Yep.
Keith Whitley singing Miami, Miami.
Yep.
They do it justice the way Dean sung it. They try to sing it the way Dean intended. And so I lived with that song for so long. I wanted to sing it as close to how Dean wanted it sung. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here and see if Dean would feature on it with me. And he was pumped to do it. And we've become good friends and text and cut shit up. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you
Ultimate
don't really
flex having Dean Dillon for sure.
You don't really hear him sing too much. Like, he's really not on a lot of stuff. So it's almost like he's the really hot girl that you're afraid to ask to prom. And then like everyone's afraid to ask her. So she goes solo.
Yeah, dude, I think I tried looking that up. I know he's featured on a George Strait song and like maybe a Don Williams. He's like featured on 3 different artists, but he's put his own records out, which are great. But and dude, playing the Opry with him, I was like, yo, we got to sing our song at the Opry. And he was like, yeah, they've been calling me forever. I'll call them back. And I assumed forever was like 7 or 8 years. And so we're standing side stage. We sound checked. He's playing 3 songs. He's playing The Chair. He's playing I'd done a lot of things different, and Bill Anderson sang it with him. And then we sang What Have I Got to Lose? And I'm standing side stage. I'm like, when's the last time you did the Opry? He goes, 1979. I was singing Hank Williams cover songs. And I was like, wait, he was like, this is my debut. I wanted you to be here for it. I'm like,
Jesus.
What? Like, what? Why is George Strait not here?
Right.
Yeah. So he's a legend for that, for getting me on board to go do the Opry with him. Like, that was insane.
You mentioned rappers though, and you kind of were trying, or I'm sorry if I don't phrase it right.
Dude, I cut my teeth on rapping and freestyle rapping, lunch table, backseat freestyle, all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so you did, and like the bio we got sent from here, somebody was like, they was like rapper Ernest. I was like, I didn't even know he rapped. Like,
where'd you get the bio from?
I was asking
our producer. Like, we were like, wait a minute.
I think Tom wrote a bio on me that's like on Wikipedia or something.
But it's like, was that just kind of like a natural, like you were like, oh, I'm pretty good at this, and you were kind of fucking around with it, and then it just turned into like something else?
Yeah, since like 3rd grade. I got the Space Jam soundtrack for Christmas in the 3rd grade.
Classic.
And it sent me down like a crazy rabbit hole, if you will. And sorry.
That was good.
No, I like that one.
Dude, so rap was like, as much as I was listening to country on the radio and whatever, and George Strait 50 number ones, that double CD, I was digging into rap, and like, that was like my party trick. Anytime we were at high school parties, like, I know there's always that one kid that like gets stoned and like, it's freestyle. But it's like, no, I can really rap to the point
I'm good at it.
You're like, I actually got it.
Yeah, but so like 2015 or 16 or so, I had like a quasi record deal with Big Loud as a rapper. That's what that was about in the Ernest K days. That's how I met Florida Georgia Line. That got me in the room with them, because I wasn't just like another country songwriter. They were like getting me for my flows and shit like that. And I've been able to integrate and adapt once I committed fully to, dedicating every bit of my craft to country. I can't help but use what I learned and not acquired from rapping so much, which is just like my ability to freestyle and how flow comes to me. And, you can hear it in like the second verse of Heartless was a 1-take freestyle on the microphone that ended up being the verse. So that was a freestyle rap that you just add melody to it, and then you got a verse,
I don't know. We've had some viral posts in the past where it was like like when you first got your car and you had burnt CD. Like for us, like I grew up, it was like Eminem, Brooks and Dunn, Nelly, and then a little Garth, and then
Yellow Card.
Yeah,
Mayday
you just have this
Parade,
weird,
Under
right?
Oath.
Did you grow up the same way where you kind of have that like weird mix of, all right, this is like country music, but then this is like, you know, Eminem
Oh,
singing like, you want to run through the wall because he's singing
Till I
dude,
collapse.
I
till
would
I
go from
collapse, yeah.
yeah, I would go from Chattahoochee to like 3 a.m. by Eminem. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, put my key in the doors, his body's laying all over the floor, and I don't remember how they got there, but I guess I must have killed them. Oh, you're walking down a horror corridor. It's almost 4 in the morning, and you're in a nightmare. He's on you, but way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. I was ADD as fuck, like obvious.
I feel like
That shit.
I was gonna say I feel like that was the kind of stuff too where it was like I would like have certain modes where it's like, okay, if I'm driving, probably more country. If I'm working out, maybe more rap in high school,
Yeah.
or like rock, hard rock, or metal, or punk, or something like that. And then it's like,
Wes, you like weird punk shit, right?
oh, I
Like,
love punk.
Sorry,
Steve never
sound
had
like
the punk phase. Steve never had
I
the
never
punk
had
Yeah, I
the
was
phase.
punk
never
phase.
punk. It was all like emo and screamo for me.
I did a little of that. My brother was more into the emo. And
So wait,
screamo.
what's punk? What's punk? And then
Punk
what's
is like
emo
Green
screamo?
Day.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
never like the
okay.
biggest Green Day fan, but like, you know, like I loved Mayday Parade, Story of the Year, Thrice, Under Oath, all that.
Tighter jeans.
Okay.
Yes, tight jeans, the small flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all that to be said, though, it's amazing how country though this record is.
Yeah.
And even the deluxe too, like so many great tracks on the deluxe too. So much steel. Like, I just feel like you don't get that much in the mainstream anymore, which sucks. It seems to be coming back, which is great.
It is coming back.
But like, were you just like, all right, we gotta like soak this album in steel? Was that like a plan, or did that kind of come together after the fact, producer choices and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. To the first 11 songs, a handful of those songs lended themselves to heavy steel, obviously Flower Shops. So like,
Yeah, of course.
Once Flower Shops existed in the recording studio, and we you got to think of songs like that, like using a time capsule and dressing a room accordingly. So it was like, yo, talk about the Opry again. We literally put it through an Opry filter. Everything we cut at that point is like, all right, let's track this as if it were the Opry band and drench this bitch in steel. So by the time we put
I love that line.
It drenched this bitch. So when we put the first 11 out, when Flower Shops, the album came out, I just kept writing songs as if it hadn't. And the songs, there's maybe the next 13 are more country than the first 11 to some extent, because I just couldn't wait to hear more steel guitar. Like, I was writing with that in mind, knowing that those blank spaces are going to be dripped.
Yeah. No, I feel like you can hear that kind of come across. It was like, oh shit, this was gold. Let's do more of that on the deluxe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't know what the next album is going to be titled or anything like that, but I know a few songs that are going to be on it, and we're going to have steel guitar again. So I hope people like steel guitar, because I love it.
That's great.
I'll probably push sonically. I mean, you didn't ask this question, but this next project, I'm not necessarily trying to write a storyline concept album. I'm just going to write a bunch of country songs, and some of them will have old school sounds. Some of them might be a little more new school. I don't know that any of them are going to have 808, but I'm gonna venture into kind of a hybrid mode while still being an Opry band, if that makes sense.
And yeah, I love that. And we were also talking before we jumped on, like, you did some writing with Koe Wetzel, right?
Yeah.
Not too long ago, and we love him, and he's the sweetest guy ever. And
Yes.
He's been on a few times, but he kind of teased us, and he's prepping his first true country album. If you guys kind of find like similarities in that sense, where maybe your past wasn't like traditional country, and then you guys kind of got together, you want to write stuff that's a little more to the book, so to speak, country.
Yeah, I think that's one of the many reasons we get along so well, is because we come from such not diverse, but like eclectic backgrounds musically. But you tell me you want to write a country song, by God, we're gonna write a country song. So the whole time, like I was in there, me and Chandler were picking up guitars, and we wrote a swing record, like Texas country. I was Koe Wetzel. I want Koe Wetzel to have a George Strait West Texas town type song. And I think he's going to have a handful of them, and I think
he can fucking crush that. Like,
yeah, well, look, think about it, man. If Koe came out singing like some George Strait songs, people will lose their shit.
He doesn't get enough credit for his voice.
His show's still gonna have rock and pyro and all this fuck you spitting shit, but then he's gonna get up there and yeah, and then he'll get up there and sing it. You look so good in love, and people will lose their mind.
Yeah. So were you down there working on his record with him, or was
Yeah, at Sonic Ranch in El Paso.
And I saw Ben was down there, and even Randy and Wade, maybe not at the same time as you, but
yeah, we all were kind of there consecutively. Bones and Ben were there before me.
Yeah.
I was there, and then Randy and Wade came after me.
Got some hitters.
Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome. And you also co-wrote his Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma Sun, which was like a half-stoned, we'll say full-stoned idea that happened months before before Koe ever came to town. Me and Durrett were messing with. I was playing that guitar part, and I was, "It's Oklahoma sun, it keeps on setting, and my baby ain't coming around." And in my head, I was like, "This would be crazy to get Willie Nelson on the chorus." And then like have Snoop Dogg on the, like I was just like, Koe, I wasn't even thinking about Koe, but then me and Koe were leaving the bar when he was in town and gonna go to the studio, and I was like, "Yo, this could be crazy with your voice on it." And I played it for him. I was like, "Yeah, let's fucking write this."
How we've had that's awesome, by the way. Like how it sounds like you probably had like a drinking night with Koe, right? Like it's insane.
It wasn't even a drinking night. It was it was some lunch drink. Are you talking about at Sonic Ranch?
No. Just in general, like we are the drunkest we've ever been in our lives as running this business in the last 8+ years is Koe Wetzel. Like we didn't even make it to I can't even remember him walking on stage kind of thing. Like,
I think I had too many nights between 2014 and 17 going on the Tree Vibes bus with Florida Georgia Line, and Morgan and Hardy were opening. So I think I probably had my drunkest night then.
Oh yeah. Koe's impressive though. What he can
do.
Koe
can drink. You don't know how long Koe's been drinking because he's here.
Like a Post Malone type.
Yeah.
We were talking before I was say you got a farm now? Moved out to the farm?
Yeah, out in the country.
Are you outside of Nashville, I imagine?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. About how far out are you? You don't have to say which direction or wherever.
No, it's like 35 minutes out of town. But it's not bad at all. And we're close enough to a grocery store and all that. So good Mexican restaurant. I'm good to go.
Oh, that's all you need.
Are you getting animals? Getting chickens, getting horses.
We have 8 chickens that we brought with us from the old house. The coop is built, but we had to do all kinds of drainage and shit around it. It's turned into a fucking fiasco. Delaney wants.
You guys have to work.
We're gonna get mini donkeys probably.
Oh, I used to have one of those. They're crazy.
Do you have to worry about in Tennessee? Do you have to worry about cougar? I should know this more. Wes,
just Broadway. Just Broadway when Morgan Wallen announces free shows.
Oh shit. Well, that's good.
I don't know. Mountain lions probably not crazy, not really. There's some development going around. So
I saw a video out here in Colorado where I live. It's a Doberman, full grown, and the cat comes into the yard and just takes it by the back and just carries it off over the fucking fence. I go, oh fuck! I gotta get more
move.
guns.
We need a bigger fence.
Yeah. No chance. No,
It's like usually what they do is like they grab the small dogs. I've heard like they like the little ones, like little rabbits, dogs.
yeah, yeah. No,
That to me that's not a
an
dog.
alpha cat.
To me, with all due respect from people that like small dogs.
What do you
Not really.
expect when a mountain lion shows up? You know,
I like you see my guy right here. He looks like a wolf. You see
what is
him?
that, German Shepherd?
Yeah, mix German Shepherd and a Belgian Mal and a Husky.
Sweet.
Black is
He's
the
like,
street.
I don't give a fuck.
No.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, we got a couple questions from the fans, if you don't mind.
Let them fly.
I don't understand this mom one, Wes. Like, you can ask that one. I have no idea what that's about. But the have you been paying attention to AI and these all these like weird Chat GPT, whatever? Like, does that worry you as a songwriter? Like that you're gonna be able to?
Maybe if it should, it doesn't. If it should, it doesn't. I haven't done any rabbit hole digging. I've seen whatever comes across my Instagram, and Danny Kang will hit me up every now and then and be like, "Dude, no, this shit's for
we
real."
love Danny.
Yeah, I know. Danny's the man. If I
the
ever worry about it,
the man of mystery,
dude. If I'm ever worried about it, it's because Danny made me worry about it.
No, Danny's Instagram is always just like AI, and then I find myself clicking like 3 Instagram stories deep into like the fuck's he talking about.
Danny's my news for the Chat GTP fiasco deal.
When we had a call with him, we were like, "You're real,
right? He's a real guy, kind of.
You're a person."
Yeah. We're like, what do you act? What's your actual title? He's like, I do things, don't worry about it.
I work for them. It's all good.
Yeah, I love Wes, Danny. This mom question was, who's the mom of the group between you and Morgan and Hardy? I think mom is in like most responsible, who's babysitting the other two, if there is one.
Hardy.
Hardy's
the mom, but like the edgy, like tattooed stepmom that smokes Pall Malls
and buys you beer.
yeah, like the mom that like lets the kids drink on Friday nights.
A question I always ask that people never answer: who's your? I'm blanking now. Wes, who's your favorite? Or who's your best friend? Whose music you like the least? Is that the way?
Or songs you didn't particularly like, where you were like, "Hey, man, I love you, but that's not for me."
Do you ever text Chris Young and go, "Why all the selfies?"
No, I'm trying to think if there's. Yeah, that's a tough question.
Yeah, nobody answers it. One day,
Ben Burgess did. Who'd Ben say?
Oh, Ben said somebody.
I think he said Thomas Rhett song. I forget.
Oh, he did say Thomas Rhett.
Yeah.
Which was awesome that he said that. And Thomas Rhett DM
Ben Burgess. How does that feel, Ben?
Thomas Rhett once DM'd us. This is fine to say, like, right, Wes?
Yeah. This is fine to say before I say it.
That his wife likes our articles when we shit on his music, like, because she likes the more traditional stuff.
That's an interesting kink.
Yeah, there you go. So he's like, he goes, I got something for you. I'm like, oh, come on the podcast, we'll have a good time, we'll shoot the shit. And he just like disappeared.
He was I don't think they wanted him to. Over at Big Machine there, but
a lot of these labels, not your label, but a lot of these labels want to control the narrative.
Yeah,
like, it's so fucking narrow.
You can understand why, just because how fast things can get out of hand, especially if the narrative gets in the wrong hands or the wrong artist, that can be dangerous for a label. But I do admire and am appreciative of Big Loud specifically, kind of letting us all not control our own narrative, but definitely fly by, march to the beat of our own drum, and they cater to that and make that the story versus here's your story, here's your script. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have a script.
Is it
Like the NFL?
you
right.
guys like you guys have a, I don't know if it's real or not, a little Charles Wesley Godwin news or something?
Is he
I hear
sniffing around?
I've heard whispers of him being around.
Yeah.
We played the Opry the same night.
He's one of our favorites.
I love Charles Wesley Godwin, and I want to work with him and tour with him, do whatever.
Yeah.
If it's true, then I'm pumped.
Yeah, I swear I saw a picture of him and Seth together, but I could be wrong. But if not,
they have been in the same room.
They have been.
That's good.
Has he been in the room with Scott Borchetta or whoever else is running things in town?
I
don't think
I
so.
don't know.
So we'll write this tomorrow.
We got the room with first.
But as a fan of music, country music, whatever, like, isn't that awesome to see like a guy like that has that buzz? Zach Bryan too, like their best buzz. You know, like it's just, it's back. Like for me, like I got jaded a little bit doing this job, and I was like, fuck, like you get annoyed with some of the shit that's going, you know, on the radio or whatever. But when you start to see these kind of artists kind of like bring it back to the stuff that you kind of want to hear, and it's got to be fun for you too, right?
Totally. And country music has always been even flows. There's been pendulum. And I think that it's healthy to have one go so far one way that people are unhappy, and then it's going to come back the other way, that where those people are unhappy that it's going back the other way. And we need as much variety as possible so that when it's set next to the real thing, you can recognize it. So, and I'm so stoked, like for guys like Zach and Charles, like songwriting is first. The song is first. It's not like, it's not pretty boy country. It's just writing songs and then people buying it because it's authentic.
Who else are you really digging right now that people might be kind of surprised to hear, or somebody that might be a little under the radar that you think is like next in a sense?
Ooh, Sierra Farrell. I mean, she's already having a moment.
She's great. She's great.
Yeah. I've kind of been on like, I've been in a weird kick of listening to like 2004 like Keith Urban stuff right now lately. Like I haven't
Golden
been in
Road.
Y2K country on the truck from Sirius, like Y2K country. You get some of those.
Till Summer Comes Around has like been one of my daily plays.
Yeah.
I just but I'm also like still in a Haggard phase. I haven't been in a huge music discovery phase, right? Like I don't know if I listen to like any what's new playlist right now. I'm kind of like, I seek out what I listen to in a almost therapeutic manner of like, you know, garbage in, garbage out type thing. Like I'm trying to soak in what I want to put out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Not that new shit's garbage. I'm just saying I'm trying to hand select my energy that I'm choosing for myself.
I'll send you some
the influences stirring around in there, and
I'll send you some Eastern European drinking music. Where my family's from, and see what you think, dude.
Sounds good.
It's shit's fire, dude. Yeah. I'm not kidding. These guys can sing in Croatia.
Yeah, send it.
Oh man. All right, do we have any more questions here?
I think we're all set.
All right, buddy.
What do you got going on the rest of this year? I know you're touring with Morgan. We kind of wrap on that. Like, what's 2023 look like?
A lot of shows. I'm gonna be cutting a handful more songs. I don't see this deluxe project being the only batch of music I put out this year at all. Nice. So yeah, the landscape is wide open to be able to drop as much music as you want. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, right on. I also feel like going back to Big Loud again, they like really kind of let you guys do that, where it's not like, hey, let's do 5 on an EP. Let's wait 9 months and then we'll maybe see about an album.
The old days
do so well, another 5 and then.
Yeah, they've been at the forefront of
letting it rip.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody, look, the bigger labels that have their system so deep is going to still do what they do. But Big Loud, is always able to pivot and be able to keep up with the times, which is why Big Loud is Big Loud. So
Yeah.
Right
well, they got
on.
a Big Loud bank account.
Yep.
All right, buddy.
So do you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.